Does Joe Rogan have a right-wing bias when it relates to who comes on his podcast? That has been one of the criticisms thrown at him over the years, but certainly not the main one, especially right now. Still, it's an amusing question, and now there's a list going around Twitter that suggests that Joe Rogan does in fact have a right-wing preference when it comes to his guests. But the list itself is one of the most biased and dishonest things that someone can come up with on this topic. I was going to analyze the entire list, going over every name, but you look at the right-wing column and immediately something feels wrong. You have guys like Steven Crowder and Gavin McGuinness and Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos. These guys are certainly right-wingers. But then you have guys like Sam Harris, Steven Pinker and Michael Shermer. In what universe are those three considered right-wing? The only logical explanation that I can come up with this is the no true Scotsman fallacy, and it goes like this. Harris and Pinker and Shermer don't subscribe to everything that comes from the left, so therefore they're not on the left. And if they're not on the left, then they must be on the right. That's logic on the highest caliber that we're seeing, but it is the only logical explanation for their inclusion. And then let's look at someone like Russell Brand. Like, how is he a right-winger? Because from what I've seen of him, he is interested in hearing different opinions, and he's not afraid to call out bullshit. Is that the standard for a right-winger now? It's like if you dare to have a conversation with someone like Jordan Peterson, for example, you are immediately labeled as a far-right enabler or something of that sort. And look, Tim Dillon's on the list, because lizard people is a right-wing talking point right now. And the inconsistencies in logic when it comes to making this list are just marvelous. Like, you either include everyone from one category or no one. And here's what I mean. How is Elon Musk on this list and not Jack Dorsey? How do you include someone like Tulsi Gabbard as a right-winger, even though she was a Democrat in Congress, and not include someone like Bernie Sanders or Andrew Yang or Dan Crenshaw? And if you're going to include entertainers and celebrities, I'm fine with that, but include them all. Where is Miley Cyrus? Where's Demi Lovato? Where's Bill Maher? Where's that Adam Ruins Everything guy who I only remember for ruining himself on the podcast? But let's look at the column of leftists for a second, because there are strange things there as well. Jimmy Dore is not afraid to call out anyone on his show, whether they're left-wing or right-wing, and even though he identifies himself as a progressive, I don't know if he will fit the definition of a leftist. You have Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is someone who's far more interested in spreading science than talking politics, so I don't think he should be included on the list. You have Edward Snowden, who I also don't believe should be there. Now imagine if someone who's not informed on Joe or the people included in this list, they will immediately believe that there's a bias. I mean, after all, the ratio of left-wingers to right-wingers is about 1 to 4. But if the entire list is corrected and is done properly, then you can come to a completely different conclusion. And that conclusion is that Joe Rogan likes to talk with different people on different sides of the aisle and is interested in hearing different opinions. That's one of the things that makes him so popular. But it's also one of his biggest crimes, according to the people who want to cancel him. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.